Just one spot remains in the W League Grand Final. Will Perth continue to reign supreme, or will Sydney FC snatch their chance at glory? This is Perth and Sydney in the second semi-final of the W League. Hello, I'm Stephanie Brands. Welcome to NIB Stadium in Perth, where it is sudden death football as the last place in the season decider is confirmed. Well, Perth start as clear favourites, but the Sky Blues have plenty of big game experience. The winner today will, of course, meet the victor from the first semi-final, which is Canberra, after they defeated Melbourne yesterday. And it was a hard-fought match. It failed to produce a goal in 120 minutes, which meant a penalty shootout. Canberra, of course, won that 5-4 after Kendall Fletcher slotted home the winner in her final match for the club. Well, Sarah Walsh is in commentary as usual. Walshy, what a fantastic season finale we're having already. What do you think? Canberra worthy winners yesterday?
Absolutely. They played really well. They couldn't, finish off their opportunities. But look, worthy winners. And obviously, I think Victory were actually pretty lucky to make it to the penalties. They've kind of, worked their way into the season and towards the back end found some really good form. So if anything, if the game was anything to go by, today's going to be excellent.
It should be an absolute belter. Perth, of course, have been the form team all season. Now, they are, of course, missing Sam Kerr for this one, but Caitlin Ford coming back in, she's just as dangerous.
She's just as dangerous, and look, it's better for Perth if they're both on the park, and obviously it's hard having Sam out, but as you mentioned, Caitlin Ford, she's very dangerous in her own right. And look at the midfield, McCallum, Ford, Davidio, May. It's a really strong midfield to support this very great attacking force up top. So Gillard, Tavane, I imagine they'll be very good today.
Indeed. Well, Peter Wilkins caught up with Glory captain Colette McCallum to talk to her about the pressure to deliver a first title.
No, I don't think there's a lot of pressure today. I think, as you can tell, we're quite chilled at the moment and looking forward to the game today. But, I mean, this week's been really good training-wise and, we're pretty pumped and ready for it to go.
How do you make up for the loss of Sam Kerr?
You know, it's a shame Sam's not in this, but I think, with our squad and depth that we've got, I think we've got players like Vids to actually do really well up front. So, we've beat Sydney before without Sammy, and I think we can do it again.
Well, as for Sydney, Walshy, they've had mixed results and they did suffer a 5-goal pummelling from this Perth side the last time they met, but they know how to win the big ones. How do you see the Sky Blues playing?
I think they will learn a lot from that game, Steph, and they really couldn't play like that again. Polias, Harrison, Lagazzo and Bolger, too good for that. So I think especially Johnson, she's going to be looking out for Caitlin Ford, similar to what she was with Sam Kerr last match. And Spencer and Simon, well, they're a great strike force, aren't they? So really good things from them today. It'll be a tighter match.
Well, Amy Harrison has been in fantastic form, and she also caught up with Wilco to talk about exactly that.
I think being away with young Matildas, getting the role of being captain helped a lot, just in terms of confidence, and being around this group of players always gives you confidence. With the older girls here, they help you a lot. So I think it's just the right time of the year, I guess.
And how are you going to make up psychologically for that defeat down in Wollongong and perhaps tactically against this Perth team?
Yeah, look, we know we have a great team. We all believe in ourselves, and that was just a bad day, and we all want to put that out of our brains. So we worked on that. We know that's gone. Today's a new day. It's semi-final. It's a whole new ball game. We love semi, so we'll work on that today.
Well, this is it. The last time Perth were in this situation, they fell at the final hurdle. Will their outstanding season continue all the way to the grand final this time? Let's find out and head up to commentary and join Peter Wilkins and Sarah Walsh for kickoff.
A very good afternoon. Tense times in the West as the Premiers Perth Glory take on the two-time champions Sydney FC. A glorious day in Perth at the NIB Stadium. The field is a carpet. These two teams have a history of high-scoring matches between them. Now, a special moment for Anna Collison, one of the young supporters. She plays for the Perth Hills United Soccer Club alongside captain Colette McCallum today. Now, in April this year, Anna was diagnosed with leukemia. She receives regular treatment for the disease. Not wanting to miss today's game, she left hospital this morning, and the team are dedicating the game to her today. That is absolutely terrific. And on behalf of Football West and the Perth Glory, they say, have a great day, Anna, and we wish you well with your challenges and football future. A wonderful touch to start proceedings today. Well, we're all in readiness today for this match. We'll get to Sarah Walsh in just a moment. And so, the Perth Glory, the runaway premiers, Casey Rybelt, the referee today. The game is underway. Perth Glory looking to make their first grand final up against Sydney FC, who've been there 3 times before for 2 wins. They've lost a couple of semi-finals on penalty shootouts. We saw an arduous, long match today. Yesterday, it wasn't that arduous. It was a superb standard, but the fact that there were no goals made it arduous for the players, and 120 minutes of action. So what are we going to see today? As I mentioned, these 2 teams have a grand history of high-scoring games. In fact, they're featured in the 3 highest-scoring games of the competition. Jasmine Spencer, 8 goals so far, turns quickly around and the ball's cleared. Caitlin Ford back into the lineup today. Stephanie Branson, a good crowd in today, Steph.
A super crowd here, as you would expect. Well-deserved here. The Perth Glory side has been the front runners all season, and the men have too. So you might call it a purple patch, Wilco. You like that one?
I absolutely do like that one. But Sydney, surely they're not going to be in the same frame of mind as they were against the Perth Glory in Wollongong when they were beaten 5-0.
No, you would think they'll have put that one well behind them and worked on making a positive start here. Jasmine Spencer's been fantastic, so expect her to excel here.
A little nudge on Kate Gill having to operate up front today with Elisa DeVideo, who is going to retire at the end of the year. She may change her mind, but at the moment she's a development officer. She's put her heart and soul into football over in the West, and it's become all a little bit too much. So after 7 years and over 70 matches in the W League, she's going to hang up the boots, but you just never know. Sarah Walsh, welcome to you. You've hung up the boots before. It's a hard thing to do. So much riding on today's game too as the Perth Glory attempt to make their first grand final.
Yeah, very hard thing to do, Wilco, and I think she'll do a club proud today. She's got the start over Mazzano, so you can see she's trying to start a little bit higher on as she's sitting on the back line there. So I think she'll add a huge impact today for Perth.
There's a big question, just how is this Perth team as Bronwyn Studman, a real stoic defender, takes the ball forward. She's been very, very solid this year. Look at Caitlin Ford trying to dance against her old team. She played 46 times for the Sky Blue, up against them today. Played in a couple of grand finals for Sydney FC. Can she make another one with Perth? That'd be a tremendous transition, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't be a huge transition for her, but look, it's just another match to her. You can see she's made sure she's let Teresa Plias know that she's there today. They're really going to have to work for it today, Sydney FC. They've made the trip over yesterday and they find themselves here against Perth, a very solid team in Perth. But look, they are missing Sam Kerr. What that does to a team, basically, they've been playing with it for so long and they play a particular way. Every time they go forward, they look for her. And what that does for Caitlin Ford, it opens up space. So with all the eyes on Sam Kerr, Caitlin Ford played a little bit more freely. Now all the eyes are now on Caitlin Ford.
These 2 teams have played 12 times, Sarah. There hasn't been a draw between them yet. 7 wins to Sydney FC, 5 for Perth Glory. But Perth have won 4 out of the last 5. Mind you, one of those 5 was a savage 8-2 beating for Perth. And there was that 11-0 scoreline, which is said in whispered tones. But they did exact some revenge. A couple of weeks ago, it was 5-0, and it could have been 7 or 8-2. They were just flowing, demonstrative. And they did hit that wonderful patch of form. Sam Kerr, brilliant on the day. Sad not to see her here today, and we wish her a speedy recovery. But they do have some attacking prowess apart from her. Plenty of players have scored goals. In fact, the golden boot is out there today, Kate Gill.
Yeah, the girl we just actually seen on screen, Sam Johnson, left back, she really struggled against Sam Kerr. And I think she want to, I guess, undo all the mistakes she made that day against Sam Kerr. And look, we have Caitlin Ford playing out on the left, and I imagine we will see Caitlin Ford move out onto the right. Also, for Katie Gill, she's been playing exceptionally up top with Sam Kerr. She will miss her today, and when Mazzano, we get to see her come on, I think we'll see much of the same there.
Well, now a little bit of pressure for
Get yourself in there.
Sydney FC.
Get bids out here.
You can hear Jamie Harnwell. He's on the cusp of something special too. He played in 4 grand finals for Perth Glory, and his record-breaking number of games for 2 wins and 2 losses. We'll see the corner go in. There's a slight flick on. Just saved. There was a glove on that from the keeper, Casey Dumont, away for a corner. That was an awkward bouncing ball for Casey Dumont, and she had to sort of linger in the air to parry it away.
Absolutely gorgeous ball in from Colette McCallum. Really, Sydney FC, if they're going to be successful today, they really need to minimise the amount of free kicks they give out there and corners. Cannot give away cheap corners. As we see there, that was a world-class ball in.
Now, Caitlin Ford goes to take it. Runs coming everywhere. It's the alternate. It's the short ball back to Ford and lays it back in turn. Mariana Tabane. She's another who's played right from the start with Perth Glory. Mariana Tabane with 75 appearances. Kaya Simon starting today. How's the heat going to affect her? It's expected that she'll probably only play 50 or 60 minutes, if that's, but they've decided to send her out from the start to try and create a bit of havoc. Sarah Carroll sends it in to Caitlin Ford, beautifully dragged down to video. A wonderful one-touch football, back to Ford. She shoots, scuffs the shot a little bit, but that was dazzling from Perth Glory.
Oh, excellent one-touch football, and it's not what we've actually been used to seeing from them with that direct play usually, and it just goes to show that they're the complete package this season.
Studman overhitting it fractionally. And so Casey Dumont, who recovered from that lacerated liver, and here is Perth.
Look at the movement off the ball here. You can see everyone's playing their role. Eventually they probably needed one or two more passes, or even to find a little bit more width, but they have it in them.
Yeah, the word on Kaya Simon during the week, Wilco, was that she was still receiving treatment, of course, but she was told she'd probably play about a half, and she said she'd really love to start.
Oh, Jasmine Spencer sneaking in the pass, just had enough on it, and a look to the heavens from Bronwyn Studman. No harm done. Caitlin Ford away. Teresa Polias scurrying, saves the situation, and Sydney try and turn defence into attack, but you can see they're a little bit bewildered at the moment, Sydney FC, as they find the quality of Perth coming at them again, just as they did down in Wollongong on that wet day.
And there were patches in that match where Sydney FC did find their rhythm, so you can see that Perth really want to start this match out intense and really pressing, and as you can see there, pressing a little bit too overzealous for Caitlin Ford. But if they don't start out that way, Sydney can find their rhythm and actually start to get on the ball a little bit more. And then once they do that, they can really overpower teams.
Now the turn from Nicola Bolger, who's carrying a little bit of a hamstring strain. Her progress in this match will be interesting as well, as far as Sydney FC's hopes of making another grand final. Caitlin Ford already fluently into action. There's an error. Mariana Tabane, she scored the winner last time, or the time before the two teams played. Davidio takes it down and still manages to get the bounce of the ball. Is that how it's going to go for Perth today? 2 surround Ford. She still gets it clear. Tabane from range was on target, but in the way, Renee Rollerson, and Sydney at 6s and 7s. They can't clear, but do receive the advantage of a free kick, and they can take a collective sigh of relief.
You can see every time Caitlin Ford has the ball, she has 2 or 3 blue shirts on her. Sydney FC, you can see the game plan here. They really cannot allow her space. They allowed Sam Kerr way too much space last time. They're not doing that again.
Now up, looking for Simon. Can't get the header. Well attended by Alana Kennedy, the former Sydney FC player back in the central defence for Perth Glory today. Now Sydney has an opportunity for Spencer. Tries a turn, well read by Kennedy, retreating. And now Shalina Zadorsky, the 22-year-old Canadian who's come in to strengthen this side, turns defence into attack and they roll forward. Look out, here's Caitlin forward, rolls it out to Kate Gill. Suspicion of offside, not given. The shot comes in, that's a wonderful goal. Elisa DeVideo. Come on down. A superb strike. She hit it sweetly. The retiring player for the Perth Glory has come up with a corker to start proceedings. You couldn't have written a better script.
What a goal from Elise DeVideo. There was really no room for error when you get to see from this angle here. I thought Katie Gill was going to have the shot, but look, she could have gone near post, but she's gone far. It was only a narrow piece of room there, and she's found it. You could see on her face here, look at that, how much it means to her.
Oh, Lisa DeVideo, her 12th goal in her 74th W League appearance. Joy all round. Perth take the lead, and now Sydney try and hit back through Harrison. If they want a corner, they might just have. No, cleared away off the line by Mackenzie Arnold. There's another story as well. Johnson pumps it back in. Sydney with the heads flying, but Perth equal in defence. Look out, they're going to turn that defence into attack again. Caitlin Ford prowling, and it's the Sydney sandwich.
You can see already this is so different to the semi-final we watched yesterday.
Kai Simon thinking about one from long range. He has scored them from way out, but not for a while. What a start. Perth with a perfect opening and a script writer's dream. Jamie Harnwell sending Elisa DeVideo into bat first today. Gabe Mazzano on the bench, and he's put it in the retiring DeVideo's hands, and hasn't she come up with a moment to save her?
See, Canberra yesterday, they put victory under an immense amount of pressure, but really couldn't convert the chances. And this is what Perth did last time they played Sydney. Put them under immense amount of pressure and then really just put them away. And then there's pressure on the scoreboard.
Well, they've played some pretty football so far this year, Perth, and at home on this brilliant surface. It's the first time they've played here since it's been redeveloped. They trained here midweek, and that got them in the mood, no doubt. And Sydney FC, well, all against Sydney FC today, and psychologically it would be hard to recover from a 5-0 trouncing. And when you're at home and you're questing to make the semi-finals, that was a big bruise for them.
What a finish from Elisa DeVideo. It was just gorgeous. She's placed it, but with power, it's so hard to do.
Kennedy tracking back. Spencer chases. Is she going to be a key today for Sydney FC? Johnson with the header. And both the respective families of Sam Johnson and Jasmine Spencer watching on Twitter today, which is the only way they can stay with the game over in the United States. Jasmine Spencer has a message in her head. She normally writes them on her wrist. Oh, in the clear now, Harrison. Big chance to level it up. Mackenzie Arnold, so brave. Shot from Spencer. It comes back in. It's cleared once more. Is that how the bounce of the ball's going? But Harrison with a real chance to level it up early on in proceedings. And then Spencer had another bite.
Oh, I'd like to see that again. I thought she might have been an inch offside here, unless she's made a run early. And get to see it there, but that's where she needed to open up and go far post. Good play there from Sydney FC though. Really earned the right to be able to split the defenders. One thing to watch today will be Spencer. She's going to cop a lot of treatment from these two central defenders. Alana Kennedy's been tight on her already today. It's Mackenzie Arnold.
Well, Mackenzie Arnold last week received the knee in the face. Gee, it has improved. The swelling's gone down. No break, but it ballooned up in the space of about 5 or 6 minutes. And a few days later, you would have put her at about a 20% chance of playing. What a performance to come back out here today after copping that errant knee or the shin of Michelle Heyman in a 50-50 challenge, and then coming back stoically to be part of this team. That's courage.
She had the option to also wear a face mask today, but she said it basically restricted her vision, so she opted against it. But, yeah, very tough for her to be out there today.
Perth, all of a sudden, their own again, DeVideo needs Uzumla to come in and make her presence felt. Well, she had it on in the change room as May puts a tantalising cross in. And that's skew whiff from Rollison. And Rollison has another go with the high raised boot. Gee, the free kick goes against the chasing Davidio. So close, but in the dressing room, she looked a little bit like the Silence of the Lambs as we watch Renee Rollison playing her 83rd W League match today, and she leads the way in appearances. What is this day going to bring for Renee Rollison? Initially from the Bega Devils, she's got mum and dad, Joy and Mick, watching with the family in Sydney at the moment. It looked like a handball. It is so. And Sydney have a chance to go onto the attack.
Let's look at this replay for the goal. Oh, she's hit it sweetly. It's actually bouncing too, and as you can see from the reaction of Dumont, really had no opportunity to be able to save that.
Lisa Davidio, part of the rich fabric of Perth glory. She's been here since the start, as I mentioned, well over 70 matches, deciding to retire. What a note if she manages to get the side to the grand final. Caitlin Ford in between the lines, running freely yet again. Such a thorn. Out to Shannon May, a quite achiever in this team. Puts it on Kate Gill's head. She bounces it. Davidio again. Challenges. And that's another challenge on Casey Dumont, and she goes down. Elisa Davidio in with the 50-50 ball. Daniel Barrett looking closely. And she did spend 6 weeks out of the game with that lacerated liver. There was the nod on from Kate Gill. She was involved in a couple of confrontations as we see Casey Dumont down on the ground. But we might just do a little bit of a correction there. We might have attributed more of the blame for the injury to Casey Dumont, the lacerated liver, to Kate Gill, and we'll take a little bit of that back. She was involved in a couple of other challenges earlier in that game. So we'll make a slight correction there in favour of Kate Gill. Casey Dumont has been challenged several times, and she's come under the pump. And there was an altercation in the last game down at Wollongong that they played where Kate Gill did run into Casey Dumont, and it was a 50-50 challenge, but it incurred the wrath of the Sydney FC defence. Now Perth on the attack again. As the ball goes back, and Mariana Tabane stepped over it. Shannon May thought about the long-range shot. Shannon May, a consistent performer. Doesn't she work that right beautifully? Shalina Zadorsky going forward, looking for Bronwyn Studman, who's lurching down that left side as well. They're coming from everywhere, Perth.
It's not what you want to see Spencer back playing right back, covering for Tegan Allen. She needs to be playing up high and providing an option and stretching this Perth Glory team. Perth Glory, they're really attacking with numbers.
Studman now looking for Gill. Well attended by Rollison. And Sydney FC being outplayed dramatically in this semi-final.
When they go forward, Perth, you can see there's four or five purple shirts in the box, and it's really a lot for Sydney to deal with at the moment, not being able to get into this match.
Good to see Casey Dumont recovering. She made a couple of fine saves in that game. When you're conceding 5, you think you've had a bad day. Perth were on fire, and they are again today. Well, look at that audacious one touch from Caitlin Ford, sending it back into the fray.
Well done, Caitlin.
And it's speared forward. Well, in the history of these two teams, goal-scoring frenzies, basically. Sydney have actually scored 44 goals, courtesy of a couple of huge results, but Perth have hit back. They've scored 22, so 66 goals in 12 matches between these two teams. Unbelievable. 8 times they've played, they've scored, well, there's been 4 goals or more. Is there a chance for another one now as Kate Gill prowls? May's well positioned. Look at the movement off the ball or the positioning. Sydney back in numbers. The ball out in front from Harrison, and McCallum steering the ship as she so often does. The ball in, leaping up was Tabane, robbing the opportunity from Gill. Out though to Ford. She's going to take on the defence. Tegan Allen ball into the centre. Gill wants to knot it down for Tabane to shoot, and the save, the parry, back in again it goes. It's not clear, not quite clear enough. Perth toying with Sydney currently. Out to Studman. Kaya Simon gets the better of her. McCallum retreating, picks up the crumbs. Now to Zadorsky, and the switch of play. Again, pretty football from Perth, even in defence. Kennedy and Jasmine Spencer sending them back to the keeper, but they're going to build up again now. Look at the room for Alana Kennedy, and the runs upfield. Well, let's go wide, they say. Sarah Carroll, another one too, another quiet achiever in this team.
Look at them,
Sarah Carroll, the right and left backs have been very, very strong. Ball in, the video leaps, but so too does La. Tabane knocks it down to Gill, looks up nonchalantly. Tabane squares it wide now. Here's the champion, heads towards goal. Caitlin Ford just waiting to tee it up on the left foot, couldn't get the power in the shot.
I don't know how many passes there were there, Wilco. They'd actually recycled a previous attack, taken it back to Mackenzie Arnold, recycled the play and come back for a shot on goal. It was a part of me hoping that it was actually going to result in a goal because it was beautiful football. They're really just showing a complement of football today. They're just, every bit of element they have, they can play possession-based, they can play direct when they need to. They transition so well. They're just the complete package.
Now chase back for Tegan Allen. So she's played many times for the Matildas, I think up around 37 times. Tegan Allen in a variety of positions. She's going to be harassed all day today. Studman pumps it into Gill. Look at that touch back to Ford. Ford might not win the free kick on this occasion. The referee, Casey Blybelt, having a close look. Kennedy restarts the engine and they move it to Carroll. Carroll looks up. Gill wants it again. Headed clear though by Rollison. Jasmine Spencer hasn't found too much. Almost a handball. That's a neat back heel from Harrison. And Spencer, well attended. He looks for the 1-2. Harrison streaming down the left side. Comfortably negotiated by Kennedy. Look, they want to turn it around quickly. No dwelling on the ball. Big touch from Gill, presenting it though to Sydney FC. But Sydney still a bit higgledy-piggledy in the midfield. They made a couple of changes to the lineup to try and address that and try and prevent the rush of purple shirts coming between them. Ball through to Dumont. Oh, a half clearance. She's way off the line, trying to nudge it into the path of Ford. It's right for a back heel from Ford, and she presents it perfectly. Now wide to May. Look at the switch of play. Tabane on. Tabane with the first-time shot. And, it only looked to be going at half power towards the edge of the 6-yard box, but Dumont was a little bit caught and finally had to lunge forward to prevent it going through to the player at the far post.
Good build-up play again, and as you can see, there's always a player running into the box and beyond the play. Just got so many options.
And Sydney, can they take stock? Chloe Lagazzo to Bulger. Ball downfield. La chases, sent back into the central defence to try and stitch them up today, give them a bit more experience at the back. La, many times capped for the Matildas, and now finds herself in an absolutely key role today alongside another veteran, you could call her, Renee Rollison.
I have no doubts Tavette Uzenla will be able to do the job today. It's just a matter of the majority of time they're actually defending against four attackers. Just the numbers that they're pushing forward. And then when they lose the ball, they have numbers swarming around the ball. So it's really going to require someone like Kai Simon and Spencer to hold the ball up and really value the ball today.
McCallum.
Get that 3 numbers around the ball to win it back again.
Renee Rollison. Well, Sydney on the transition, a little bit lethargic in comparison to their opponents. Well, Harrison trying to turn. Carroll awake to that little dummy. 23 minutes gone. It's the sort of game you want to go for a long time. 1-0 Perth so far. Some pretty football played by the home side. You can't discount Sydney FC. They haven't missed the semi-finals in the history of the competition. The only team to do that. They've been to the grand final 3 times. They've won the championship twice. Can they get there again? They're always competitive. They've won it from 4th before. Today, it just seems the odds are stacked against them and the quality of their opponents.
And this season especially, they come back against Newcastle last week.
Caitlin Ford dancing. Studman, first time ball to the far post, not too bad. Half intercepted by Johnson. And the cross can't be affected. Goal kick. The video
the
changing the
difference
point
in
of attack.
Sorry, Wilco, the difference in the conditions of the match Walsh just mentioned, the one against Newcastle, couldn't be different. We've got an absolutely perfect Perth day here, and that was miserable at Lambert Park in Sydney when it was pouring down rain in the semi. But you both mentioned the amount of Cat Matildas we got on the park. Of course, Alan Stajic has made the trip west, so there'll be a number of girls wanting to impress in this one as well.
Now something for Spencer to chase. Cool work from Shalina Zadorsky. We mentioned the Perth attack and the fluency, but part of the reason they're in this position is that they've stitched up their defence this year. They conceded 31 goals last year, only 10 this year. Alana Kennedy, a recruit, so too the 22-year-old Canadian who's been absolutely brilliant back there. She's only played one senior cap for the Canadian national team, as Gill nods it down, but she captained the under-20 team at the World Cup, and she's a very, very composed player for one so young. Now, on the turn to Bain, nonchalantly knocks it off to Ford. Ford with the cross in. Who's there? It takes a deflection and goes to keeper Dumont. But that defence, it's been very, very good as Sydney try and lurch forward and test it out.
Oh, look, it's really difficult knowing that when you're up against a defence that don't cough up cheap mistakes, don't cough up the ball and really value possession. So the only way that you're getting to score against them if you really create something, really earn the right to be able to penetrate and get through. And it's just so difficult. They're so tight and they're actually very physical.
Man on.
Kai Simon challenging Studman. And we mentioned last week that she had played her 50th game and enjoying her best season so far. Bronwyn Studman with the history in Canberra, born in Canberra, raised in Canberra, heading to the United States. Kate Gill with a wry grin after that exchange.
Yeah, she's coming a little bit too hard here from in behind, and obviously doesn't help with the height difference.
Kate Gill, the Golden Boot, a prolific scorer, but she's a very physical player, a little bit like Michelle Heyman from Canberra, who gets in and about too.
Oh, absolutely, you want that from your number 9. You want them to hold the ball up and stand tall. They're your target player, and at every single time they touch the ball, they need to hold it.
Well, now retreating again as the FC defence, as the shot is tried from Tabane from long range. Mariana Tabane. Well, she plays a terrific role as well for this Perth Glory team. Never afraid to be that extra attacker to come up with a vital goal at a time or two. She scored 20 in her 75 matches, 3 this year. Just 22 years of age. Feels like she's been around for 10 years. But very young, obviously, when she started out. We watch now Tegan Allen pump it downfield, but that's not going to do the job for Sydney FC at the moment. Sydney FC really looking a little forlorn in creating attacking opportunities for Jasmine Spencer.
But Tabane's been doing really well. She's been sitting in behind Davidio and Katie Gill. She's actually just been finding that little pocket and being able to turn. And I think Sydney FC haven't worked out yet that she's got a mile of space. So you can see now Teresa Pliers standing a little bit closer to her.
Legazo, Bolger, Perth robbed the ball yet again. Gill sends it back behind Sarah Carroll. Kai Simon sets sail out after her. Kai Simon's played in 3 grand finals. That's a challenge that's going to be rewarded with a free kick against Amy Harrison, the young talent, the 18-year-old, on the veteran Kate Gill.
Let's see a little bit of lazy defending here from Amy Harrison. We need to pull out of that. Katie Gill was going nowhere.
Ford dancing towards the area again. Can she get the cross in? Well, she was trying to chip it across the 6-yard box. Slewed a bit off the outside of the boot, straight to the keeper, Harrison. And the turn, well read, Alana Kennedy. Those two players know each other quite well. As we watch now, McCallum. Johnson with a good interception. Bolger looking up. Spencer, well, she had the moment, screaming for the ball. She needed it. And you can see Bolger a little bit hampered, so that hamstring taking the spring out of the step for Nicole Bolger. You just wonder how long she's going to persist today.
It's all at one pace at the moment. There weren't any aggressive runs forward.
Oh, again, strong. So Uzenla's been sent in as the Rottweiler, you might say, on Kate Gill as the ball goes forward, and she's going to be nipping at her heels all day to try and put her off a game, because that's that role that Kate Gill has occupied brilliantly, that Mark Viduka style roll back to goal, distributing, just a beautiful striker's role.
And if you're a striker playing off her, it's really easy. She's always looking to either bring the ball down or she's actually likely to flick it on for you. So as long as you're running off her, you're really going to reap the rewards.
Rollison, Uzenla, Johnson hooks it downfield to the safe zone. Maybe not. Kennedy. But, well-directed pass from Milana Kennedy. Simon dinks it into Bolger. Spencer, she wants it at the feet as well, Spencer. She can turn. That's one of the real strengths. Allen sends it in towards Spencer. Kennedy awake. And now Perth through Davidio, the goal scorer, to Bain. She's going to charge. Beats Polias quite comfortably. And that's a good piece of defending in turn from Renee Rollison. Very cool, strongly into the challenge. Now looking for a pass to match. Lagazzo wants a big game today, Chloe Lagazzo. And Sydney FC really demanding a big game from Lagazzo and a couple of the other young players like Amy Harrison, who's been in that good patch of form, sparkling, nearly scored a couple of times in the match down at Wollongong, lost 5-0. Bolger, good touch, Polias. In tight. This is better from Sydney FC. Well read by Sarah Carroll. Ricochets to Simon. Johnson pumps it high to the far post to Spencer. And there's the punch out, not quite clear. And a chance for Bolger on the left foot. Well attended. Oh, very, very solid defence. Caitlin Ford, it might come back again.
There's your first mistake from Perth Glory there. No one tracking that runner and no one actually protecting the keeper. Spencer was allowed at all 5 foot of her to be able to get up and challenge for a header. To see it here, she's running with no one around her. Everybody ball watching. But it's a better passage of play from Sydney FC. A bit more movement off the ball.
Arnold to Gill, nudges it on forward, slightly out of position. Goes against a good mate, Tegan Allen, and manages to put some pressure on. To Bain, beaten by the duo from Sydney FC, Zadorsky charging, Spencer nipping away at her in turn.
See, she's not going to have an inch of room. Got to see this when Perth played Canberra. She was stuck to Heyman like glue. Spencer's getting the same, but Spencer's not as big as Heyman, so it'll be difficult for her. It's a lot to be expected if she's playing up top.
A ball forward to Davidio, trying to bring it down quickly to Bain. She won't dilly-dally. Can't quite get the height, looking for Gill. Shannon May won't be able to keep it in. It's going to be a throw into Perth. The assistant looking at the referee for a little guidance. You might notice that the Glory team are wearing pink ribbons on their shirts today. This for 7 seasons now. The Glory have dedicated one of their games to the fundraiser for breast cancer research and the National Breast Cancer Foundation. And the match has been played each Westfield W League season since Teresa Calotti, the mother of one of their foundation players, Danielle, passed away from breast cancer in 2008. So a couple of significant gestures today on a massive day for Perth football. And you think of some of those players who've contributed to the history of the club as well. Tanya Oxtoby, who played 40 times. Ella Mastrantonio, 46 times. Lisa Devanna, 22. And others like Stacey Learmont that'll be following the action very closely today, wherever their aim may be. Jasmine Spencer trying to steal into the area, and
it's 3-on-1 up there. She's got no real support. I'm sure if you've got Kaya Simon now sitting deep in the midfield, it's not where Sydney FC need her. It's not going to happen if Spencer has to beat 3 players. She doesn't have a midfielder playing off her.
Keep going right, Vince, keep going right.
34 minutes gone. Perth 1, Sydney 0. Canberra watching intently, no doubt, in the national capital after getting the chocolates in testing circumstances right until the final moment of the game. Kendall Fletcher, Sydney into the attack. Kennedy nods it down. Studman chases. Bolger closing her down. Sydney playing a little bit higher. Pressure on. Allen can't find the pass, but they still have possession. Simon dragging it down. Caitlin Ford comes at her. Wide to Allen. There's work to do for Allen. Oh, he just keeps it in. Well done. Back now to Bolger and the ball into Spencer. Oh, that was a real chance for Spencer. 9 times out of 10, she tickles that off the right foot and then has the shot. But the first touch eluded her. To Bain. Again in that role, retreating, doing the hard work, picking up possession and then moving forward with pace and authority. Gill to Bain. Studman out of play, throw. Sydney FC. Maybe a chance for Sydney to impose themselves. They've had a couple of bright moments in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
They have. I think they've actually moved Kai Simon back into the midfield. She's playing a lot deeper, which leaves Spencer up top by herself.
Gill. Direct ball, she finds Colette McCallum. How many times have they played together for Perth and also for the Matildas? Countless times, with Colette McCallum having played 78 times for the Matildas. What a director of operations she is in the middle of the park. Just in front of the defence. Moving forward. In space now, once again, this time the video. Again, casually sends it to May. May to the far post, looking for Gill. Can she get any power in the header? She can't. It's dinked back in. Gill on the turn. Who wants the shot? The video. Gill, time to try and poke it to the far corner. Yes, indeed! A top draw chip. A special from the Golden Boot. It's 2-0.
She even telegraphed it. She looked up, had a look at the top right, but actually she delivered. She executed exactly what she wanted to do. You could see Casey Dumont. She's backtracking. She knew it was coming. She couldn't do anything about it, really. That was absolutely superb from Katie Gill.
Absolutely magnificent time. It was slow motion almost, but the keeper could do nothing about it. It dipped under the crossbar. Kate Gill stands tall. Celebration extreme in the West. It's 2-0. Well, there is a big mountain now to climb. 13 goals for the year. And she is moving up into Michelle Heyman country, who holds the record for most goals in a season at 15. Well, Kate Gill will be challenging that this week and next. You can be sure of that, unless there is something in the tank for Sydney FC. Jasmine Spencer probing. Sarah Carroll on the right side, just doing the job. Shannon May. No weak links in this Perth Glory team, and some damage on the bench as well, even without Sam Kerr. Great depth in the squad, all positions covered, and just the fluency of the side. It's a delight to watch the standard of football that they're putting together.
There's so much rotation in this midfield for Perth. It's been really hard for Sydney FC to pick up a player, especially when the ball is on the edge of the box. Really got Katie Gill dropping that down. And she's playing with Tabane up top, but really there's the video. She always has Caitlin Ford looking around for the ball. Yeah, they've just not worked it out yet.
Well, there's some symmetry for Kate Gill as well. 41 goals for the Matildas. 41 goals for Perth Glory in a stellar career.
See why she always scores in the big games.
Away now, Harrison. Holding it up, allowing Perth to retreat. Jasmine Spencer does well to find a little bit of room. Hustled from behind, goes again. Spencer turning, weaving, looking for the shot. Near post, Simon. Great save, Arnold. Sydney's best chance so far. But Arnold with a sprawling save. closed down the opportunity. Kaya Simon stole in at the near post. It was pretty.
It was a great piece of play there from Sydney FC. You can see Spencer's done really well to turn her defender here and actually face her up. She's rode the challenge there, possibly could have got a free kick, and did really well to cut that back and play a little through ball. Great run in from Kaya Simon, looking for it at the near post.
Now the high kick to Gill, nods it down. Out of play. Well, we're heading towards half-time. The first half has just evaporated on the quality of football. Now Harrison streaming forward. This is a role she loves. A little bit of freedom, chased down from behind. And that's a good tackle from Carroll. Wide now they go.
This will be a really good test for Amy Harrison. It's one thing playing in Vietnam in the under-20s. These are women, really strong women, especially this defensive line. She will cop a little bit of physicality today, and how does she actually bounce back from that? She's the player that Sydney FC need to look to for some creativity and one-on-one running.
Simon, the one go-to person is Spencer. Now Spencer with something to chase. Zadorsky cruises across with the distinctive boots and reefs it back downfield. Now Bulger, this is better. Simon from wide out, thought about the shot, manages to keep control, still only 3 matches back after a long spell, 13 months out. And maybe a little bit rusty. Kaya Simon working that rust out. Davidio with something to chase. Brings it down. Gills roamed up in the centre. Studman on the ball. Out on the left is Caitlin Ford. Davidio once more to Bain. And a bit of a loose pass from Bronwyn Studman. Now Kaya Simon. Wide to Harrison. And Spencer lurking. She wants to get into top gear, trying to take on the defence. Carroll, inside Carroll, the shot! Oh, the save, the shot, the save! Both magnificent! High quality again! Harrison through, but she brought the best out of Mackenzie Arnold.
That's exactly what Sydney FC needed. Someone like this to take the game at the scruff of the neck. She's really just taken that inside, as she will as a right footer. Great shot, great save. That's what Sydney FC need. They need their young players to step up.
Sensational football from Sydney FC, but no goal is one coming. But right into the centre. The keeper came and wasn't there. Bulger can't get it right back. Harrison hooks it, and it comes off the side of the boot. And back there is Tegan Allen. Johnson, that's a good ball, good vision to Kaya Simon. And she tries the speculator. And in the centre, Rollison. And also Spencer crying out for the pass rather than the 10%er from Kaya Simon.
Here we get to see this shot from Kaya Simon. Bronwyn Studman's put a good amount of pressure on Kaya there. When Kaya actually gets back to full fitness, you'll see her bring that down and actually take Studman on there.
Spencer on the turn. She's going to try and do it on her own. Solid tackle, Studman.
It chips away at you as a 5-foot striker, I'll tell you that much. You really try to avoid the players that can hit you from behind like that.
Well, it's a sprightly Davidio. Just all over the park. Playing like a 15-year-old today. Elisa Davidio having a real day out. That sparkling first goal. Johnson looking for support. All her options in defence were closed down. She's got nothing to aim for at the moment. And that's a measure of the antagonistic play of Perth currently. Simon with a neat drag down. And she looks for support. And Perth want it, don't they? McCallum, time on the ball. She spirits away to Bain. That option closed down. Wins the free kick as we move ever closer to half-time. Just a minute, and maybe a minute or so of injury time. Just 1 minute to go of extra time. In Sydney FC, in the prior seasons, they've scored many, many goals. They've had some high-scoring years. As the ball's pumped in, Kate Gill to the video. But this year they've only managed 17, and 8 of those have come from Jasmine Spencer. So they haven't really covered up the vast number of strike players that they lost up front this year. Scored 17, conceded 16. It's an un-Sydney FC-like statistic for the season.
Yeah, it is. They've always been blessed with good strikers, and she's not been able to do it by herself. She's scored a numerous amount of goals by herself and her own creativity. But she needs a bit more than that against a Perth defence like this. It's good to see Kai Simon. She's had a lot of ball today. She's been able to hold it up and really bring the midfielders into play. They need more of that.
So Verduzenla, the violin player. Not sure how much she plays these days, but she was part of a youth orchestra early on in her teen years. Ricochet, the chase, Maitland Ford, look out, she's got pace. Tegan Allen with a decisive interception on the chase back. She recognised that would she have not made that tackle, it may well have been 3.
Yeah, ended up being a good result for Sydney FC because Caitlin Ford was off. She was running at some serious pace there. This is a good result for Perth Glory. We don't actually have Colette McCallum on the ball, though. It's
Mariana Tabane. Where's Kate Gill? At the near post is Gill. And in the centre, Gill challenging, not totally cleared. McCallum nods it back in. Ford sort of lollipops, hopscotches over the ball, and it goes out of play finally. And there's a similarity between this game and the one down in Wollongong. Didn't Perth pinch another goal right on the stroke of half-time? They almost did then. They scored 5 for the day, and they can breathe. It's only 2, but the gulf feels a lot wider in the first half. Even though Sydney have had maybe 1 or 2 half chances, Perth have created plenty. Look, they're jogging off. It's there with them. The crowd rises. Many here today in support. There'll be many more next week for the grand final. Casey Dumont beaten twice, but by 2 very, very good shots in the first half.
Look, balls in the penalty area, 15-9, and they've really made good use of that as well. Really finished off their chances, and I think for me they've come out really strong and really put Sydney under an immense amount of pressure, and it's been really hard for Sydney to be able to, I guess, counter that. And the times that they have, they've looked good, but it's only been, little parts of the match.
Let's head down to the edge of the field. Stephanie Brantz with Kaya Simon.
Yeah, Kai, there have been some good passages of play from the Sky Blues, but what are you going to do to get into it?
Yeah, I think it just comes down to the 50-50s and wanting it, the most. And at the moment, Perth want it more than we do. We really need to tighten up the simple things, and we can only win the game by doing that.
We're loving seeing you back on the pitch. How's the body holding up?
It's getting there. I mean, it's a different ball game when you're in the on the training field compared to in a match. But getting there, and hopefully come next year into the World Cup, I'll be fully fit.
Well, good luck for the second half, and of course for an important year ahead.
Thanks a lot, Steph.
Yeah, Kaya Simon here at NIB Stadium in Perth, where it is the home side leading by 2-0. The winner, of course, will go on to the grand final, where they'll face Canberra, who earned the right to fight for the title after they had a big win yesterday. Let's relive the highlights of an incredible match in Melbourne,
Oh, here's Michelle Heyman dinking it around Barnes and chasing through to goal. 2 in the centre. Here is Heyman. Far post. Oh, Sykes just misses. It was a clear-cut opportunity.
Michelle Heyman possibly couldn't believe her luck. She's just got a ball free. She actually could have just had it.
Putting Christine Nairn away. Is it the 1-2? Beautifully timed. As Sykes, 1 touch, 2 off the post. What a splendid move that comes to naught. It was brilliant.
Sykes is heavily right-footed. She didn't want to take that left-footed. But, oh, wow, if that was a goal, that would have been one up there.
She's played all 12 games this year. A ball through. That's a beauty. Here goes Devanna. A chance. Solly. Devanna turns around. Open net. Flicks it looking for early brush, perhaps. She goes near post. Sykes was there. Oakes tees it up to the far post. Nodded back in and just over from Heyman. Sykes comes inside. Canberra have the chance. Sykes, good keeping. Clear for Lindsay. Lines it up. Parried away again. Heyman's there. And Bree Davey does wonderfully well to grab the crumbs. Lindsay, it's just one touch stuff now. Big. Heyman. Oh, off the post. And back along the line to Davey. Yet another chance goes begging. Devanna, this is looking promising. Devanna off Nan. Devanna with a chance. Devanna fires it at goal. The save is made by Jones. Lindsay. And looking for Heyman. Comes in close. Heyman. Bree Davey yet again. And she collects the player. And that was there's an injury now to Bree Davey.
I don't think she's actually guilty of a yellow card here. She's pulled well out of that, but I'm not sure where Bree Davey's actually been hit.
Now they line it up. Melbourne with a chance to steal it. They go near post. Oh, it's ricocheted out of the zone. That is all of real play. We head to penalties. Yes. Codger moves into strike. Saved! Chantal Jones comes up with it. And now it's going to be Kendall Fletcher with her last strike, perhaps, for Canberra. Kendall Fletcher for Canberra. She scores. Canberra celebrates. They're into the grand final. The Dipsy Doodle, the back somersault. Thank you very much. Canberra deflate Melbourne. Absolute delirium and disappointment in equal doses. Chantal Jones the save. Bree Davey in truth had a chance. It wasn't the most convincing strike. She went over the ball. Kendall Fletcher delivers.
Chantal.
The semi-final action continues. We're in Perth. Jamie Harnwell and Dan Barrett watching their charges. Mackenzie Arnold brave to be out there today. The action aplenty. Perth leading to video. A super goal in the 10th minute. Kate Gill, an audacious chip in the 37th. The home side doing it comfortably at the moment. Will there be any answers coming in the second half? But in the first, it was all Perth glory. And that was a good save from Casey Dumont. It was bouncing awkwardly.
It was a good save. She's actually been a little bit exposed. They haven't protected her. But this goal here, the finish from the video, really is just a beautiful finish and great way for her to finish her great career in football.
Now, Kate Gill with the nod on. Casey Dumont off the line a little bit. The challenge was made, and the 50-50 challenge with the video. The ball nodded back. Gill. This is beautiful one-touch football. And finally, the chip par excellence.
She's so well composed, and she can just execute it, has the technique, and nothing that Casey Dumont could do there.
2-0 to Perth after that. Amy Harrison. Mum and Dad, Rod and Beck, they would have been delighted to see the shot back in Campbelltown, watching glued to the screen. Brother Chris as well. Unfortunately, that was tipped over. Perth and Sydney, or Sydney versus Canberra, will be live next week in Perth, should it say as it is. The status quo remain and Perth be in front. The W League 2014 on ABC iView. You can catch the action. The replay, we've got a couple of replays for you. 2 semi-finals, 2 replays. Facebook, ABC W League, and Twitter at ABC W League. Stephanie Brantz.
Yeah, there have been 2 fantastic goals already here at NIB Stadium in Perth that you can relive when you watch this match back on iView. But there have been a number of spectacular goals throughout the season. Now, we've picked 8 that were our favourites. Have a look at these and then go to Facebook and like the one that you think's the best.
Goal A, Christine Nairn's powerful punt in round 5.
Oh, good play from Devanna. The ball across the centre. That's a fine effort. Oh, my goodness. What a strike, Christine Nairn. That is mesmerising.
Absolutely hit that sweetly. She's given herself enough space, taken a great first touch, and hit it exactly where she wanted it.
If you too were mesmerised by Nairn's left boot, head to ABC W League Facebook and cast your vote. Goal B, Lisa Devanna's cheeky chip against Canberra.
Now look, they're holding the line up again onside. Devanna, this could be 3 chips early. Oh my goodness, what a goal! A special out of the top draw from Lisa Devanna.
So if Devanna's goal got you giggling like Walshy, be sure to vote for it on our ABC W League Facebook. Goal C, Rachel Quigley's round 8 off-balanced scissor kick.
Broadcasters, the ball is bolted into the net. That is unbelievable. Rachel Quigley has scored the goal, and she dreamed of an overhead scissors kick.
If that sideways screamer got your attention, remember to like this video and cast your vote on Facebook. Goal D, Renee Rollison's Beckham-esque curling shot back in round 2.
Now Rollison, oh my goodness, what a goal! What a strike! It is absolutely brilliant from Renee Rollison, sliding it Premier League style inside the near post.
If you think such an impressive display of mid-air deviation deserves your vote, like this strike on Facebook. Goal E, one of dynamic import Jasmine Spencer's trademark belters in the local derby.
Tobin makes a run, that's the decoy. Oh, what a touch it was from Spencer, shoots, what a goal! A special delivery from Jasmine Spencer, levels it up. Such goal, such poise, and a strike to match, it's 1-1.
Like Goal E on Facebook to vote it the best of the 2014 season. Goal F, Caitlin Ford kicked herself off her feet with this wonder goal.
Turn and chase, Caitlin Ford, supreme, she shoots, what a goal! That is a wonder goal from Caitlin Ford, it's 3-1, a sensational effort into the top right corner.
If you too were blown away by Ford's power, vote for Goal F on the ABC W League Facebook. Goal G, AFC Women's Player of the Year, Katrina Gorry's unbelievable effort against Canberra United. And now this will grace many a highlights reel for years to come. To vote for Goal G as the best this season, simply like this video on Facebook. Goal H, Ashley Sykes may have just saved the best of the season until last with this 1 in a million strike against the Premiers.
Rojan, neat overlapping run. Can she match it with a cross? She does. Heyman, time to tee it up. Can't get power on it. And the shot from Sykes. Oh, yes! Oh, yes! Oh, yes! What a goal! What a strike! Ash Sykes delivers one of the goals of the season and the timing of it. It is superb.
If you agree with Wilco and think Sykes' superb strike was the best we've seen, like Goal H on ABC W League Facebook.
Drawn from nations representing over half the world's population, this region's finest are coming. The Asian Cup 2015. The ABC is the official free-to-air broadcaster. Every Socceroos match on ABC TV, plus live coverage on ABC Radio.
Oh, it's a fabulous goal! Bresciano scores! Huge delirium in Sydney!
The Asian Cup starts January 9 on ABC.
Yeah, Perth Glory W League coach Jamie Harnwell will be watching the Asian Cup with interest, but I think right now he's a lot more interested in the next 45. Fantastic start to this match, off to a flyer. Jamie, can I guess that you're pretty pleased with what you saw?
Yeah, very happy. We wanted to come out and make it difficult for Sydney straight away, and the girls have done that. And what a finish by Elisa. That's a cracking one. And you can see Sammy celebrating. She's right behind it as well.
So the message at halftime, more of the same?
Yeah, we've got to be careful. Sydney have caused us 1 or 2 problems, but if we keep playing as we can, then we'll cause more problems than they make us.
Now, extraordinarily, yesterday we saw a match that went a whole 90 without subs. What are your plans for the second half?
Oh, look, just the sun above. There'll definitely be some subs coming on. Yeah, we've asked Elisa Video to work as hard as she can for as long as she can. We've got someone like Gabe Marzano to come on as well, so there might be one coming a bit later.
Good plan. Good luck for the second half.
Thank you.
Jamie Harnwell, could the smile be broader? It will be at the end of the game, should they manage to retain this lead or improve on it. There is the team. What a unit. Perth Glory, a record-breaking season. The goal again, Elisa Davidio. That's the sort of ball you want to hit in your retirement game. Brilliantly struck. Kate Gill. What about the poise from Kate Gill? The trap, looks up, dinks it, perfectly.
I guess the question is, have they actually missed Sam Kerr today? It's really, she's been their go-to all season, and it looks like the players around her have stepped up.
Well, you've got that many options. And they've got another one on the bench, Gabe Mazzano as well. So Sydney FC have made a substitution. This might have been telegraphed. I'm pretty sure it'd be Nicola Bulger, wouldn't it, who's been replaced, but we'll tell you that story in a moment. Is it Kaya Simon already, is it? And Nicola might still be out there, so I might have been doing her a disservice. So that hamstring holding up for Nicola Bulger and Natalie Tobin, another youngster with a magnificent future, coming onto the field, and no doubt students at Mount St Benedict wishing the schooling will be watching this very, very closely. Now Perth, Gill finding room already. The ball out wide to Ford. In the centre is the video. Ford takes them on. Look out for the shot. She tried to find Gill. It might sit up in turn. It's laid back by McCallum. She wanted a bit of glory herself. Colette McCallum, who could deny her? She scored 11 times for the national team and some pearls in that arsenal. Sam Kerr relaxing.
Well, she's off somewhere else at the moment. She's probably tweeting on Twitter, but I believe she'll have her surgery for her knee this week and then be on the mend for the Matildas next year.
Well, how's Sydney going to respond? What have they got? A goal would have to be the first option, and one pretty quickly, I think. You'd say Perth will have another one in them, so Sydney have to score.
Well, it's just been the small things, I think, exactly what Kaya Simon said, and you can feel that when you're out on the field, that they're not winning the first ball or the second, and they're not putting Perth under the same amount of pressure in the way that they close the ball. They're the small things that a team need to do to be able to apply that pressure early, and they've not done that, and Perth, they seem to be doing in the second half as well.
Natalie Tobin for Kaya Simon.
Yeah, just had a quick chat to Kaya. It was always the plan for her to play half a game, and I think she was very keen to start the match and probably hoping to get them off to a better start.
Sam Johnson, ball slewing off the foot.
It's a good point, Steph. When I look at this Sydney Sky Blue team, I'm looking for an out-and-out striker, and you have Spencer, but for me, the rest are midfielders at the moment, so for me, they might be playing with an extra player in that midfield to get them back into this match.
Teresa Polias, work to do for Allen. Forward chases and reels it in. Studman, with that long stride, pokes it forward to Bain in open country. The turn is good. What can she put on the end of it? Mariana Tabain tries to clear herself with a shot. The video. Gill looks for another chip. Or a steer more than a chip, one might say. Again, beautiful to watch from Perth Glory.
It's that simple stuff from Sydney FC. Tabain was not picked up. But Kaya Simon getting that 40 minutes in, it's good for her. She's slowly going to build to get her match fitness.
Oh, ball rub. Shannon May looks up. Cool. May. And again in the path of the video to the far post. Gill. Oh, another open goal for Perth. Gill. A shake of the head. Jamie Harnwell applauds. It bounced in the defence of Kate Gill. A little awkwardly for her, but she had it in the back of the net.
Oh, she's beaten two players with this ball. It was perfectly timed. You can see Katie Gill shaking her head at herself. It has taken an awkward bounce in the end, but oh, look, that was a beautiful cross. And great build-up play from May there. Basically played a no-look pass to the video while everyone's eyes were on Kate Gill.
Spencer. A touch, trying to roll it into the path of Tobin. Spencer. They will have done better to take the defence on, but it's easy to play the game from the grandstand. Let's look at the makeup of this side. It's dragged down. And Uzenla pounding forward. Maybe thinking about a long-range strike. Lagazo, an onlooker at the moment. Tobin chases. Lagazo goes in to try and make a difference. Caitlin forward in turn. Lays it back. Zadorsky Gill beats one. Cruises across the centre. That's good play. Forward. Oh, look at the space for Shannon May. They row forward. Caitlin Ford, the trap. Can she lay on the shot? It's back to Bain. Pilots it over. It's touched.
Great play from Perth Glory. Watch Caitlin Ford's run here. She's run the ball out. She's played it. It's a little bit late on the play, but she's played it and actually picked up the ball again without being picked up.
It's taken a little deflection on the way through as it sailed over. Perth with the corner, looking for three. And it's in the danger zone at the far post. Ford in the way Legarzo. Surely it's got to go in. The chip over the head. Somehow Bronwyn Studman is prevented from scoring her first goal. Casey Dumont.
Unbelievable save here from Casey Dumont. Again, Perth Glory first to the ball, just a little bit more desperate to win it. And Bronwyn Studman's done everything she's needed to do. And
she comes out with the punch now, and it's hooked clear. Well, Bronwyn Studman had the look to say, well, that's in the net, but it was Dumont with that fingertipper over the crossbar to keep it at 2-0.
She saved Sydney FC against Newcastle last week as well. She's just been on form.
Studman to Bain. Surely the goal's coming. Was that a free kick? It is. And an appeal. The challenge was made. Teresa Palaia subjecting her students at McCallum's Hill Public will be probably on her side, but she threw herself down and really blocked the path in a regular fashion of Bain. And they have another chance. Colette McCallum might be a touch too far for McCallum. Bain. Remember, she can score them from long range.
Well, they want an in-swinger, an out-swinger. Colette McCallum takes this. They'll swing out. See, no, they're going to swing in. Bain.
Mariana Bain, the chip. Gill! And up at the far post was Alana Kennedy, who has probed with success before, and she shakes the hand of a former teammate, Renee Rollison. Good spirit.
You can see they've put themselves in a really good position here to be able to push all the defenders they like up top, and Alana Kennedy having a smile there. It's her former teammates.
The drums are sounding, perhaps on a Perth victory. Sydney going to have to come up with something extraordinary, and they just don't look as though they have the ammunition. It's just one-way traffic at the moment. Studman. Nodded down. Shannon May. Again, having a good match. And now, is this the moment? Spencer skipping after the ball and robs Carroll on this occasion. Spencer laying it back. Johnson wheels it in. The header! Legarzo was there, couldn't direct the header on target. Chloe Legarzo.
And here you could see Jamie Harnwell a little bit angry at his defenders. Clear header, easy header there for Chloe Legarzo. But earlier, Carroll probably needs to move the ball a little bit earlier with the speed of Spencer.
Yeah, not sure if you can hear Jamie Harnwell on our effects mic, but he certainly had a few words for his back line.
Tobin finds the centre. Legarzo, Bulger, Palaia cruising forward. Lost the ball now to Bain. Charges. Still might fall for Davidio. And Caitlin Ford with her supreme pace picks it up. Allen with the chase. Davidio, nice touch. Perth raging forward. Studman. He was looking for Gill, and Gill recognises that that was what was in her head. That was the intention. 54 minutes have elapsed in this match. Perth leading Sydney 2-0 and on the cusp of heading into their first grand final. Sydney, though, might have one or two statements to make before the end of play. They need Tobin, Harrison and Spencer all linking up, moving forward.
The style of play, the players that they have on the park, they're all combining players who keep possession very well. They need to get back to basics, and the things that they do well are actually combining in the midfield, like here.
Harrison given a little bit of room. Harrison, on what foot will it go? It goes to Johnson. Johnson, the flat ball. And Perth, just for one moment, caught a little bit flat-footed. No one was moving in, zoning in on the ball for the Sky Blue. Now, Polias, a little bit of room. Will she think of the strike? She puts it in. Lagazzo dinks it forward. Spencer. Jasmine Spencer loves these shots and saved, though, by Arnold. No surprise there. Mackenzie Arnold has the answer again. Well, she's looking rather dejected, but she came up with the answer, and it was a significant question.
It was a great parry away. I think she's upset she didn't actually stick it and hold the ball, but great save, and Spencer really just turning her defenders on a dime.
Polias, Rollison patrolling now to the far post. Is there going to be a free header? No. It's a one-on-one to the near post. Taken downfield by Studman. Kate Gill. She's just had a 30th birthday recently and probably has lost half a yard of pace, so she knew Tegan Allen had her covered, but all the other facets of play, they're well in order. Kate Gill, what a day she's having today. Trevane, Colette McCallum.
Yeah, I don't know if you could actually hear that there. You could hear Colette McCallum dictating play. Probably goes really unnoticed. She really screens that defensive line, but she's such a smart player. Yes, she's lost a yard of pace, but she's really dictating play in this back line here.
Well, Elisa Davidio, we heard from the coach, maybe signalling a replacement, and Davidio giving him no reason to make a substitution. She's everywhere still. Sarah Carroll, Kennedy, back in numbers, over the head, and that's how it goes. It bounces towards you, nonchalantly off the outside of the right boot. Caitlin Ford, Gill looking for the return. Ford dancing. Lagazzo back to prevent any further incursion. Dragged down by Zadorsky, and that's cool play. One touch down, back onto the attack. Gill can't quite get there. The flag stayed down. Another move full of ambition and almost delivering on that for Perth Glory.
Yeah, Studman didn't have enough bend on this. A little bit too straight, but not too far from Kate Gill. Kate Gill, she really needs to be marked more tightly.
Kennedy. Up forward by Bulger. Davidio. Just a little nick off the forehead to Bain. McCallum. Mays out on the right. Davidio wrestled off the ball by Sam Johnson. Polias, time to think. Still pressure, but Sydney come away with it. And a half chance for Harrison. She's got the overlapping run down the left side. Harrison goes on, rolls it into the path of Spencer. Brilliantly done. They get in each other's way. The flag stays down still with Jasmine Spencer. The square ball is pretty good, and the first touch elusive. Now there's a chance. The shot straight though at the keeper from Tobin. Sydney's best passage of play in the second half. It comes up with nothing, but it is brighter from the visiting team today. Zadorsky. And that's what they found. That was their little ray of light from the 5-0 defeat down in Wollongong. They did create some chances, and that will give them some heart. But as Jamie Hardwell said, they're probably going to produce a few as well. Mariana Tabane, time to size up the cross. No one at the far post. Tegan Allen showing some urgency. Lagazzo with a firm pass. Picks up Bulger. Sydney stream forward again, but they're outnumbered. Spencer in the centre is Harrison. Spencer. Bulger. Still with Bulger. Doing well, Nicola Bulger. She's played in a couple of grand finals. Scored in one. Tobin dances over the ball. A very, very bright prospect. Johnson to Spencer. What a touch too. Kennedy sized up the moment. Did well. Spencer tried to get the shot away. Oh, well done, Alana Kennedy. Good off the mark pace, recognising the danger of Jasmine Spencer and closing down the moment.
It was really good defending and great passage of play from Sydney FC. They are small patches actually getting back to basics where they're overlapping runs and little 1-2s that they train for. Great little touch there from Spencer, and you can see she sizes up Alana Kennedy. She's such a good player. She really allows herself the time and creates that space to be able to face her opponent up.
Sam Johnson still on the ground, and we are having a substitution for Sydney. Nicola Bolger's coming off, Olivia Price coming on, and Gabrielle Mazzano is also coming on for Perth. I'll get you confirmation of who. I think it might be Elisa Video. Yes, indeed. I can confirm it's Elisa De Video, who is getting a standing ovation here at the NIB Stadium.
Elisa De Video leaves gloriously with a signature moment in her career, which has come to an end, unless she revises it.
Great way to end it.
Again, Kate Gill presenting another obstacle. The ball through. Dumont way off a line. Tabane was the chaser. Knotted down by Sarah Carroll. You like that form at right back too. Sarah Carroll, born in England, came to Australia at a young age. She's been a really firm part of the defence. Sydney sending Tegan Allen on a long, long excursion, and she can't quite make up the ground. We're up to 60 minutes. We're in the 61st minute. 2-0 to Perth. Sydney crying out for the goal to get them back in the game. Just can't seem to arrive. And Perth, you sense there might be another one not too far away.
We have some fresh legs for Sydney FC with Olivia Price on as well. She's come on for Nicola Bolger, who was, I think she's lacking that match fitness with that Hemi. They need a little bit of spark, and I think someone like Chloe Lagazo, she's been quiet today. She needs to step up and get more involved.
Olivia Price, another youngster with a great future too, 18 years of age, up through the N-Swiss program. She comes on at a crucial moment. You're sent into the cauldron, aren't you? 2 down. Spencer breezing forward with great paces. You got to go all the way or try to. Beautifully laid off to Harrison. Holds it up. Overlapping is Lagazo. And the pass misdirected. Kennedy Cooley sends it away. Caitlin Ford with those loping strides, covering the ground quite comfortably like a gazelle. Tabane, brilliant run. The flag stayed down. A chance for 3. Not laid back. Gets a second bite. Who wants it? Come on. It's going to be Sydney. And they stream forward. All now into the centre. There's a bright passage of play out on the right side to Lagazo. The good run forward is made. Sadly, nothing at the end of it all for Amy Harrison. Rueful, a shake of the head. She matched a shot from down in Wollongong, which needed a brilliant save from Arnold, with another one today, which required an equally good save, but she can't find the back of the net, and time is ticking away. Gill charging to Gabe Mazzano. Caitlin Ford spiriting through at full tilt and just chips it into the danger zone towards Mazzano. Good defending from Sydney. Credit where credit's due. They covered up the chance. There's nothing forward. Just 2 players against 4. And the chase back from Studman.
There's no patient build-up. Tobin there had time to bring the ball down, but I think it's a matter of when you've been under the pump for so long, you rush and you panic on the ball. She looked up and didn't see too many blue shirts. They actually need to be smart about where they do their work, and it's off the ball. Provide an option for their teammates.
Well, looking for an opening, some threat of a chance. And Ford retreating to pick up the ball. And they wheel into attack once more. Right to Mazzano. Can she keep it in play? She can, and does well. Only one up in support, Mazzano. And holding it up for the run. Tries the shots. Too bad. Comfortable in the end for the keeper, standing on a line. The bells ring on another fluid attack for Perth Glory. The score remains at 2-0. Well taken down by Lagazo. That's Price inside of her. They've got Bob City covered today in the Sydney FC side.
Bob City.
It is Olivia Price playing inside of Lagazzo with the brightly coloured boots and the hamstrung. Nicola Bulger has left the field. So somewhat muted finish to the season perhaps for Bulger. Is that Caitlin Ford back doing the defensive work of a retreating midfielder? She's
Absolutely.
everywhere.
And all I could hear was Colette McCallum. Play it back, go forward. Just play easy, play safe. And that's, you don't hear it from Sydney FC, and they're all under the pump. No one's communicating at the moment.
Little miscue from Johnson. Can't keep it in play. And it seems inevitable, the result. But football, we know 2-0. There's no surety in that score, but you just can't. Apart from the odd foray forward, Jasmine Spencer, where's it going to come? Perth, likewise, might just add another. Kate Gill hovering with intent. I might just correct one statistic. In all my excitement, I think I afforded her the symmetry of 41 each. It's actually 42 at club level, 40 at international level, 82 all up. And her strike rate at club level is absolutely magnificent, 42 from 56 games. Now, chance of another, perhaps, to the far post. Gill wants it. It's got a falling turn from Ford. She keeps it in, lays it back to Mazzano. Will try to steer it in. She has another shot, perhaps. No, Sydney enveloping her moment. Spencer won't get the best of Zadorsky. And she charges into the back of her. She says she has the ball. She can't believe it. But there was a bit of leg on leg as well as ball. And Shalina Zadorsky closing down the danger woman yet again. Zadorsky cruising forward. Ford. Where's the cross from Ford? It's useful. In the way, Casey Dumont, who at her best form would be challenging for Matilda's berth at the World Cup. If she can get back to that form before the 6 weeks out with that lacerated liver. Very, very uncomfortable injury. She's done very well to recover. She had another battle in her career with osteitis pubis that took her out, and she almost thought that it was all over. So 2 fantastic recoveries from injury for the keeper, Casey Dumont, the nurse. Sydney at the other end, she watches them trying to get back in the game. They're just out of the game. The goal can turn it all around. It might just put a bit of doubt in Perth Glory's mind. Rollison, that first touch. Now it's 3 on 4. To Mazzano. Tackled well by the experienced veteran, Uzenla.
Well, even just there, have to highlight it. Mazzano's won the ball. There's been a mistake from Sydney FC. And just, there was a lack of urgency to be able to recover. That's how you find yourself 3 on 2 at the back.
And Arnold's another keeper too. With embarrassment of riches. Uzenla takes it away. The game stuttering from a Sydney perspective. And it's easy for the likes of Bronwyn Studman and the rest of the team.
That suits Perth at the moment, as long as the ball's down this end of the field. They're really just making sure they're sticking to those simple things. So they're winning that first ball and applying the pressure when they need to. You've seen it, it's highlighted through Katie Gill. She's pressuring defenders when they're not going anywhere.
Tavane turning. Callum. Carroll. She's one to the near post. Quite enough air. And they're backtracking. Tobin. Oh, that's a poor clearance. Gill lays it back for Mazzano to score the first goal at 3-0. Gary Mazzano gifted the Christmas present points for Sydney FC. Perth on their way to a first grand final in the W League. And it's the first Army diver who scores her first goal in the W League.
Really good piece of refereeing there from the assistant referee to leave that. It's come off a defender, so it's not offside. You can see Katie Gill still coming onside. As we see here, offside. She's picked it up. You know what I like about this? Katie Gill's looked over, possibly could have slotted that, but here you go, Mazzano. Merry Christmas.
It's all happening, and Perth take that lead 3-0. And you might say revenge is a dish served cold. They've been teed up a couple of times by big scores. But this season, it's 5-0, 1-0 and 3-0 currently. He suffered the record defeat in the history of the competition and another huge defeat. So they've been beaten 11-0 and 8-2. Now, this is going to be sweet revenge to go into the grand final, eclipsing the most qualified team in the competition, Sydney FC. The ball in to the far post, a slip and a slide, and Perth are going to come away with it yet again. It's a complete performance today. 3-0, under 10 to go.
For the sake of Sydney FC fans, I'd like to see Sydney FC finish off this match. I know there's still 20 minutes to go, and we've seen stranger things happen this season. I'm not writing them off yet, but really you can see the heads of some of these players drop at the moment, and there's a lot of pride in that jersey that they're wearing. A lot of teams that have played before them that really valued it, and I want to see them finish this match off.
Mazzano can lay it off just onside as Tavane. Flag down, Dumont does well. It was marginal, but maybe a little bit of charity shown by the assistant referee, and you can understand why it's game over. Let's entertain the crowd. Dumont doing well.
Oh, she's doing really well, and look, it's difficult. She couldn't do much about Katie Gills. She could have been in a better position for at least the videos, but that was just an amazing finish. And then that there, just a defensive error again.
Kate Gill has orchestrated this win today. Unselfish play, as underlined by Sarah Walsh, 70 times capped for the Matildas, 31 goals in commentary in the ABC box, and overseeing a great season of W League action, highlighted or underlined by those goals at half-time, and perhaps 6 or 7 were left off that reel, that highlight reel. There have been some princessly moments, you might say. Sweet play all round. Some of the great strikes that would do justice to any level of competition, any gender, anywhere in the world.
A sign of a really great team is how they play when they're 3-0 up. I know I can speak for the Matildas. There's been a few times where we've been up and not really known how to actually finish off a match, and let's see how Perth finish this off. Are they actually going to go for the jugular, keep it when they can? This would be for their bigger players like Colette McCullum to call plays and be patient and just value possession even more so now. And as you can see, sometimes it's just toying with Sydney FC.
73 minutes gone. Tobin, Bolger, or not Bolger I should say, it was Lagazzo. Bolger's on the edge of the field watching now, and now they come yet again. And they are toying with them, aren't they? Mazzano's wide on the left. Caitlin Ford trying to set her up. The flag stays down. Mazzano for 2. Chips it for Gill. Tries to replay or repay the opportunity. Oh, the nutmeg, thank you. Gill chased down. Still with Gill. And Polias intervenes. It comes back from Kennedy. A hook downfield by Teresa Polias. And over the head of Kennedy, but she looks around, and Lagazzo, meanwhile, is hobbling. So Sydney FC have their problems. Caitlin Ford, might she try one from range? She sort of half thought about it, Caitlin Ford. Neither really committed to the shot nor passing to a teammate, but that smile suggests that it's not a great concern to her.
I think she was actually hit by the ball here. Oh, actually she's gone down. Seems to be a hip or something like that.
We've got Trudy Cavalieri preparing to come on off the Sydney FC bench, but it's going to be Caitlin Ford who gets to rest her legs for Perth. Karis Hawkins is going to make her start in the game now.
Well done, Caitlin Ford. Rested last week on a couple of yellow cards and now back into the fray. What a superstar. Replacing her, Karis Hawkins, who was going to be a qualified lawyer in about April next year. She doesn't know whether she's going to continue with football or take the law pathway, but she's been capped 10 times for Wales. Can't find a regular spot there unless she moves over to Wales, and that's unlikely. So Karis Hawkins, the legal eagle, into the defence. And another, she's got a significant history with the club as well. Karis Hawkins with 60 W League appearances for the Perth Glory to her credit.
And it's hard to not get emotional for those players like Colette McCallum and, as you said, Elisa De Video under pressure again. Those players have been here since the W League's inception, and they've had their tough times, and they've been on the back end of some really bad scorelines, and now they've turned that around to a complete season's performance. And look at them now, just keeping possession, and as you like, they're really just working towards next week's final.
And the player was lost irregularly or illegally. Tegan Allen on the deck. Karis Hawkins gets a yellow card. Welcome to the fray. She might want to complete her articles and have a little bit of a close inspection of that. She won't be taking the legal pathway, I don't think.
It's really unfair, that yellow there. Unless she said something to the referee that we missed. Good use of her body, actually.
And so Trudy Camilleri, who way back in 2008 made her debut against Perth, playing for the Central Coast Mariners, comes on to replace Chloe Lagazzo, off injured. Trudy Camilleri, it's an assignment you probably don't want. Coming on for a last run, your side's trailing 3-0, there's a couple of minutes to go, but any time is good time on the park.
Trudy Camilleri is exactly what they need at the moment. Every time I've watched her play this season, she comes on and provides a spark, and it's just at the very least with her work ethic. Her work rate, it will be high up there, and so hopefully she can lift her team.
Price to now Teresa Pilar. She wants a goal. Hasn't scored one in her many appearances in the W League, but she couldn't get the shot on goal. The square ball pummeled away. Down by Tabane. Out by Zadorsky. There's Mazzano putting her body into the work. Punched downfield by Carroll. Mazzano nods it on for Gill. And two veteran campaigners, Gill and also Renee Wallison. Still, the clearance isn't found. Tabane, it doesn't bounce kindly for her. McCallum says, we'll just wheel it around to the left and I'll find Bronwyn Stutman.
Look, 3-0 up, and Perth now have possession because Katie Gills put Casey Dumont under pressure, and she doesn't need to do that at 3-0 up, but she does. And she'll do that for the 90 minutes.
Ball forward. Neat move. Studman, no, just trips over the opportunity. She was getting a little bit ahead of herself. And Bronwyn Studman, don't injure yourself, Bronwyn. You've got the match to play this season. You've had a beauty this year. Trudy Camilleri skates forward. Allen out of play. Karis Hawkins intervening. Perth Glory. This is a moment for them, a little piece of history. They're finished as we watch Polias rolling it. Camilleri to the near postal chance. McArnold in the way. Arnold is in the way. The offside flag was up. Perth, they finished 7th, 6th, 5th, 6th, 2nd. They lost on penalties in the semi-final. Remember that moment here. They did lose that. That was a despairing moment for them. Melbourne went on, and then 5th, and this year 1st, and they're going to be into the grand final. Mackenzie Arnold sporting that wound from last week into the fray today, and really a flawless performance from Mackenzie Arnold. 3-0 Perth Glory. a record-breaking season. They've scored the most goals, more than any other team in the history of the competition. They've had the best for and against, or the plus differential, better than any other team in the history of the competition. And now they're into the grand final to meet Canberra. They did suffer that defeat in Canberra, 2-1. But you just never know what the home factor will provide, and a meaningful match. They didn't have to win last week.
No, and Jamie Harmer, when I look at this team, it's easy for everybody to jump to conclusions around the strike force that he's brought over here with the likes of Sam Kerr and Caitlin Ford, but their strength, their key strength is in their defence and midfield, especially Colette McCallum. Tabane stepped up. They really just got a complement of players that are all willing to work for each other, and the way that they can play different formations, but they can also play direct. They can also play possession-based, and they're exciting to watch. They do what they need to do to win games.
1-2, Gill doing well. Dumont, Sean Bellum coming on for a little bit of game time. That'll be welcome for one of the peripheral members of the squad, but nonetheless coming out to make her 27th appearance. She's been on the field in a substitution role primarily 7 times this year. A unique turn, but in front. The defence secure on this occasion. The damage done. The game is petering to its conclusion.
And they're their own worst enemy at the moment. A little bit of a casual pass from Rollerson has caused Johnson to lash out here because she had no chance in winning this ball.
Bit of frustration there from Sydney FC. I think with 9 minutes left, well aware this game is out of reach. It's been a most appreciative crowd here at NIB Stadium, though, nearly 1,400 here on hand, which is Perth's biggest home crowd.
Now the ball sailing into the area, knocked down. Out of reach. I might have been accelerating that time clock, for which I apologise.
I was thinking you were on your way a little bit quick, Wilco. It's probably another 9 or so, 8.5 minutes with some time added on. But for Perth, what an exciting time for Glory fans. Their men are in the FFA Cup final this week, and then they'll have a grand final for their women.
Now Spencer with something to chase. And here's their moment. I guess we've had it all over with 10 or 12 minutes to go. My apologies to the Sydney FC fans. I'll put that down to eyesight, a deteriorating eyesight. I'll put that down to, and the clock not coming out as boldly out of the screen as it has in previous years.
Being hard on yourself. I think you have a flight to catch.
You don't generally signal a 3-0 winner about 14 minutes out from time. Anyway, we'll put that down to the excitement of the occasion and maybe the disappointment of the bigger picture as far as the W League and ABC TV is concerned. But more about that on another day. We'll watch now as the nod on from Mazzano sends now Uzenlau on a chase.
Well, look, I'm guilty. I actually knew what the clock said.
Can you help me?
And I'd closed the game out already.
It's going through the motions a little bit. Perth just toying it, and Sydney, they haven't given it up, have they? But there's not much movement off the ball. Perth knocking it. Johnson and the defence surrendering. And was there a chance from long range? Wide. They can't even find an open goal. Amy Harrison disappointed with the result. It fell to her with an open goal at training. You do this and generally can find the net 10 out of 10 times. And under the pressure of the moment.
I think she's miskicked that. She's possibly looking for a little bit more airtime. It sums up the day for Sydney, doesn't it?
Sarah Carroll steers it out of play. Zadorsky. Width provided by Hawkins. Good challenge by Allen. And still putting a body on the line. We're at 3-0 and 6 minutes to go. If we were going on by previous time call, we'd be doing the post-game interviews and everyone would be in the showers. So we give it a bit of extra time as we see Sydney trooping back in defence 3 times this year. Beaten by Perth Glory, it seems. Unless something right out of the box happens and it just doesn't look as though it can come from anywhere. Is that onside? Yes, flag down. Mazzano now the belated flag, and that is probably the right decision. There might have been some communication between the two officials. Gave Mazzano prowling up into the attack, the first female army diver, formerly based up in Townsville, and a lot of her workmates will be up there cheering her today. Sydney FC questing for a goal to put some respectability in the scoreboard. There's Colette McCallum burrowing away, the 28-year-old, as though she'd just come onto the scene. First played for the Matildas back in 2005 and over 50 games for Perth Glory. She had a season out. She lost a bit of interest in the game too, so Colette McCallum to come back and be very influential in this team. It's a great credit to her, and she's a real footballing wizard. Tacked forward by Billum, taken out by Sam Johnson. And are we going to see players like the young American Jasmine Spencer, who's dazzled us, writes letters of inspiration, or words of inspiration from her family. She didn't have one on her wrist today. She just had it in her head and wouldn't give it up because she said it was just a personal note. They're home, as I mentioned, following it on Twitter. She's been very good for them this year. Will she come back? She's enjoyed it, Jasmine Spencer. 8 goals, and who's to say with maybe a little bit more support up top. To use your expression, Sarah, she might have gained a few more, and Sydney might be in better shape attacking-wise this year.
Well, look, if Sydney can actually retain this team for next year, I think it's easy for us to forget that there are a lot of kids out there. By kids, I mean Amy Harrison and Chloe Lagazzo, who this team look to as their bigger players, and they're only going to mature, become more experienced from this loss especially. And really, when the times are tough, it really shows what kind of player you need to be. And then you look at the new coach, Dan Barrett. Well, for me, he had a tough task. When you look at this team, I think they've all been read by Alan Stajic. And I think even just bringing in a new coach, a different style of training, and I think with Alan Stajic, he demands this intensity at training, and I remember so many times playing under him, he'd actually just stop sessions and send us home. So I'm not sure if they've had that at training.
Tobin charging into the area, earns a corner kick, the deflection taken from Carroll.
But you can see that I don't know, they're missing something, and it's sometimes it's a lack of effort. And it's something that, I don't know, Alan Stajic just would not have accepted. And it's no discredit to Dan Barrett. It's a hard job to come in four matches in.
Coach Jamie Harnwell, we heard the cry away. What's the clearance? Perhaps he feels his team's just to put the dinner suits on already. You're in the dressing room. Zadorsky sends it out. Now on the left foot. No, she wants it on the favoured right foot. Does Renee Rollison. Teresa Palace. Come on, Teresa. Sail one towards goal. Take it on yourself. The square ball. Spencer, they're offside.
Finish it off, come on.
So we have, we're going to see 4 minutes of extra time. Given when I'd called stumps before, that's a significant amount of football we've played since then. And it's still, though, the same result. 3-0 Perth over Sydney.
I think you're actually still on Melbourne-Sydney time.
Possibly. Or possibly, as a commentator, sometimes you just see it as game over, don't you, Sarah? Yeah, and that can be a long way out.
Yeah. I wonder what Canberra are thinking about watching this Perth Glory outfit. Imagine they'll be watching this intensely. Who do they have to stop? Caitlin Ford, by her own standards, had a good game, but you know, it was the players around her today that really stepped up. Katie Gill, how's Ellie Brush going to stop her?
Tegan Allen trying to get around the terrier, Shannon May. Polias streaming the ball to the left to Harrison. Carroll in front. Probably can read where she's going to go. Just shadows her, does well, closes her down. Camilleri. Not a bad effort, but a swarming defence. Perth not clearing, that won't please the coach. Kate Gill trying to impose herself. Nice little roll back under the heel from Teresa Polias. Sam Johnson's going to bury it to the edge of the area. Karis Hawkins up comfortably. Now we're into the last 4 minutes of play. Sydney with a fluent moment. Can they find a way through to make it 3-1? No, is the short answer. Well, next week it's going to be Perth versus Canberra. Perth into a first grand final. Sydney will be the spectators. They won't go into a fourth grand final. So to be able to play Camilleri, providing that spark. Laid back coolly by McCallum. Karis Hawkins drives it down the line and finds the chest of Kate Gill.
They don't switch off, do they, Perth? It's been a couple of mistakes. And none that I can actually put my finger on, but they've just been switched on for this full 90 minutes. They've approached this match with true professionalism.
Mazzano sneaking back. Too much on. Oh, she's just trying to square it up. And Uzenla does well. Uzenla squares the ball. Is there a chance? And that's not a back pass. It just was tickled off the leg. And a free kick goes the other way. Arnold with a shake of the head. 2.5 to go.
Good to see her out there smiling again. See possibly a little bit of contact. Yeah, she's coming a little bit late, a little bit of frustration.
Yasmin Spencer, a yellow card for her trouble. On the way out. Back to the United States after her stint. Now, way off her line. Now from long range. Is there going to be a chance? Over it goes. Another open goal. The opportunity rejected. Natalie Tobin. That's 2 open goals. Amy Harrison and Natalie Tobin. Neither chance accepted.
Mackenzie Arnold, after this effort, he was holding onto her face. Not sure in that earlier play she had some contact. Yeah, open net again and just couldn't finish it off.
When it's not going your way. But the Perth fans know the full-time whistle is evident. And they're going to celebrate long and hard the first journey to the grand final. And as you mentioned, a terrific patch for Perth on the national football scale into the grand final. It's going to be live into Perth next week. Please join us for a signature game. Perth Glory and Canberra United looking for a second title. They had a record-breaking season a few years ago. Now they're going to be up against a team who've had a record-breaking season this year. There's quality on both teams. Canberra put it together fluently yesterday without finding the net until the penalty shootout. But they are last start winners. Kate Gill looking for the closing statement, perhaps. Billum, just that first touch eluded her with a free kick going against Sydney FC. Natalie Tobin curing the wrath of the referee. Perhaps the last moment of the game for Perth. And Colette McCallum. It's just about in range for Colette McCallum. Is she going to step up and try and bury one here? Or will she look for Kate Gill's head? Probing into the area. Casey Dumont.
This is her bread and butter, Wilco.
And on the left foot. It's in the right spot. In the top right corner. Looks the spot for Colette McCallum. Oh, Colette McCallum now drives it. That's where it was headed. Not quite with enough loft. That should be just about it. The Sydney come away with the ball. The Purple have done the business today. Sydney attack. They put Perth on the back foot for the last time. Harrison, we don't want a muted finish from the perspective of the home crowd, do we? No, we don't. Full time. Perth celebrates. Kate Gill, a special goal today, overseeing a fantastic performance from the Perth Glory into a first W League Grand Final. The Premiers now have a chance to be champions. Jamie Hardwell has the chance to put his name in the history books as well as a player who's won 2 titles, turning his hand to coaching and winning a title as well. A great crowd in today, and we can see the possession. Well, it went a little more in favour of Sydney FC in the second half, but really, and that was mostly after the game had gone from them, 3-0.
Pretty even in possession there, and again 30 balls into the penalty area, but they're just so, I guess, the way that they execute their opportunities, and they're so concise and poised in front of goal. And when you have someone like Katie Gill, who seems to be unstoppable at the moment, her touches are just a delight to watch, and this team as a whole a delight to watch. I can't wait for the grand final. 2 great teams who deserve to be there, in my opinion.
It's going to be a fantastic finale to the competition. Season 7, Canberra up against Perth will go down to the player of the match. No debate here. Steph.
Absolutely. Kate Gill, what a superb personal performance, team performance. Perth finally into the season decider. Is this your perfect afternoon?
Yeah, I'd have to say so. It's bright and sunny and we got to play football, so yeah, definitely.
Now, you added another goal to your personal tally, but you could have had a second. You laid it off for Gabe Mazzano. Were you tempted to have a shot?
No, I was rather it went in the back of the net and I was sure she was going to put it in, so...
Preparing for next week, grand final, your chance to put Perth's name on the trophy for the first time. How do you prepare for it?
Yeah, look, we just got to stick to what we're doing because it's been working all season, so hopefully we can pull it off next week.
Good luck, Kate. Well done today.
Thanks very much.
Perth were grand today. It started early. Elisa DeVideo in a farewell game.
It started with the pressure. They really just put them under so much pressure, and they're the finishers. They really finish it when it matters. And look, Katie Gill has a little bit more time on here. It was telegraphed. She looked up and had it. There's not much Jamon could do.
Now it dipped over the head. Kate Gill with the arms aloft celebrating. This was, well, an atrocious bit of luck, bit of defending, you might say. Gill to Mazzano in the back of the net. That was the hammer blow. 3-0. DeVideo, Gill, Mazzano. Stephanie Brands.
Yeah, fantastic celebrations going on here at NIB Stadium in Perth. The Glory very excited to be in their first grand final next weekend. Now, we've got plenty more sport for you to enjoy before then. The Australian men's hockey team will play in the bronze medal match. They'll take on India after they lost their semi-final to Germany, and that'll be followed by Pakistan and Germany in the gold medal match. Next week, the WNBL has the Dandenong Rangers welcoming the Sydney Uni Flames for their round 10 clash. That one at Saturday, 3 p.m. on ABC. And on Sunday, it's the W League Grand Final. We'll be back here in Perth at NIB Stadium. Canberra making the trip west for the season decider. 3 p.m. Sunday on ABC. And, of course, live into Western Australia at 12 p.m. Can't wait for that one. Can Perth finally get the glory? Join us to find out. We'll see you then.